From Assembly Hall tonight, Indiana beats Iowa in a high-scoring affair. 103-89 was the final. Some of the most points the Big Ten has seen in quite a while. The most points that Indiana has scored since the 95-96 season in a win over Iowa. A lot of positives in this game, but the defense was this one thing that stuck out that Indiana does certainly need to work on moving forward. Indiana went with a different starting lineup than they had the first 21 games. It was consistent. Today, Tom Crean brought in Will Sheehy and had him start over Victor Oladipo. Primarily, he said post-game, to defend Zach McCabe. He had averaged 18 points over the last 3 games. Tonight, he finished with 3 points, so job well done. Offensively, Indiana, 6 players in double figures, led by Cody Zeller, who scored his highest point total in an Indiana uniform, 26 points, 11 of 12 from the field, 8 of which, though, were dunks. Big highlight reel, certainly, for him. Elsewhere, you had 15 points for Christian Watford, and Verdell Jones very close to a double-double in a different fashion. Tonight he scored 14 points but had 9 assists. He distributed the ball very well, and Coach Crean said he set the pace extremely well. So a very strong compliment to him, and he's looked very good over these last couple games at Wisconsin and today against Iowa. Tom Pritchard, that is, received the best reception he has, I think, in his IU career, a very warm reception. First, he dictated the play very well, had a couple of easy big layups inside, had a nice steal that he took to the rack, and really provided some energy here at Assembly Hall that the fans truly appreciated. They gave him a standing ovation when he left and went to the bench, and then there was an interesting point where Coach thought about putting him in back and forth, and it was just funny if you're at Assembly Hall to see things from that aspect. Also going back to Will Sheehy, he did get the start, and he was also sporting a new look. His teammates said today in the locker room that he showed up with a different look, a buzzed haircut. None of them were quite sure what the reasoning was behind that. Somebody did know that maybe it was to keep the sweat out of his eyes. We'll see. He did have a nice game, so hopefully I guess maybe he'll stick with it. But Indiana's defense was something that they'll certainly need to work upon as they continue on, as we're now past the midway point in the Big Ten season. 17-5, and I think if you asked anybody, they'd certainly take that at this point. I said about 19 wins for the entire season, and I think that will be very attainable for them. They're back at 500 in Big Ten play at 5-5. I think many more conference wins here to come. It'll be important this game was important to set the tone for this week. Tough schedule, traveling at Michigan and at Purdue this week, so it was nice for the Hoosiers to score a lot of points after a tough effort at Wisconsin in a loss earlier in the week. They scored more points in the first half today than they did all game at Wisconsin. So Michigan and Purdue is this week. Defense allowing 89 points to an Iowa team is concerning, especially considering Iowa shot 79% there in the second half, 19-24, a remarkable stat. Another stat that stood out: Indiana had more offensive rebounds than defensive, maybe because Iowa was hitting a lot of their shots. They did dominate the rebounding total, 37-22. But overall, Indiana got a nice win heading into a 2-game road stretch and beat an Iowa team that hadn't been easy in this matchup. I don't know what it was that posed a problem, but the Hoosiers had lost 4 straight to the Hawkeyes. But regardless, Indiana gets the win tonight, 103-89. I'm Scott Agness for VigilantSports.com.